A new poll conducted by the New York Times, the Siena Research Institute, and the Portland Press Herald shows Democratic Senate candidate Graham Platner holding a small lead over incumbent Republican Senator Susan Collins. The poll, which surveyed around 600 likely voters in Maine between June 19th and 26th, shows Platner with 49% support and Collins with 47%. The poll also found 45% of respondents viewed Platner unfavorably compared to 48% for Collins. The poll has a margin of error of almost 5%. When WABI asked Collins about the poll at an event in Skowhegan today, Collins pointed to her years of directing federal money to Maine for various projects.
I am hopeful that putting together the coalition that I've always been successful and pointing to my position as chair of the Appropriations Committee, a position that a Maine senator has not held in 92 years, that people will understand what the differences are. There are many, many differences, starting with I've never had a Nazi tattoo.
Collins also responded to allegations from Platner that she was funneling millions of dollars in federal contracts to her husband, calling those accusations false and absurd. Now, the Platner campaign says the poll shows Mainers are ready for a change, also saying in part, quote, "The poll also makes clear that despite all the distractions, this race is about the issues. After months of attacks and national media attention, Maine voters know where Graham stands, and they are backing him because of what he is fighting."